Good evening, everybody. Hope you've all had a great week. We're back here again on Barbers Arms, episode 65. It's Friday, the 20th of August, 2021. Coming up tonight, I'm on my own to start with. We've got an intriguing story to where is Gary? We can't find Gary. He's either in the pub or he's up to some kind of mischief, but he's on his way. He's going to be joining us very soon in the arms for our news bits. And then we've got our first guest coming on. We've got Wallace Barlow from the USA. And we have got some great questions for Wallace. And then we're going to go straight into London, where we've got Nicos Nicasso, who's going to tell us his story about his change from being in a salon to working from home and doing his micropigmentation in London. And then me and Gaz will take you up to closing time. We've got some great news tonight as well about some competitions. So let's get started then. So it's a little bit unusual tonight for you that's watching tonight, but also as well for everybody who watches afterwards and catches up afterwards. We've got no Mr. Machin. Where's Gary? It's like, where's Wally? And he is a Wally for being late. So we're thinking at the moment that he's either, he's got caught up in a pub after work. He's up to some other mischief that no one else knows about. Rachel, if you're listening and watching, we're sending out a search party now for him. He sent a message saying he's running 10 minutes late. Traffic in Stoke. What is there? A big darts tournament on? Who knows? But Gary is obviously going to be with us very, very shortly. Oh, you've had a great week this week at your work as well. We missed you all last week. We're taking a little bit of a different turn here. It was Friday the 13th, and we all felt a little bit. Our producer over in Australia had his first jab, and we're feeling a bit under pressure after being under the knife as well for a knee operation. And we all felt a bit spooky on Friday 13th, and things weren't feeling right. So we thought, well, we'll cut last week. And it might be something that we're going to do at the Arms, where we take our shows bi-weekly as well, just so we can fetch the very best guests. We've got some great guests coming up as well in the next 3 or 4 weeks. Now, just while Gaz is just getting ready, he'll be all flustered and red-faced. He'll be blow-drying his hair right now. I just want to tell you about something that's really close to me as well. Great opportunity here, guys, is the Wahl Barber of the Year and the Wahl Barbershop of the Year competition, which has now become synonymous in the hairdressing and barbering calendar. This is something that we're obviously at Wahl. We love doing it at Salon International, and it looks like this year again we will be back at Salon International. Fingers crossed and God willing. But that will see this competition being back live as well. So it's going to be back live on those big stages. Last year's winner, Andy's Barbershop in Bicester, he came away with the coveted Barbershop of the Year. And also as well, we had Killian Madison, who was the current Barber of the Year. Both those got the awards last year, albeit virtually in November, but still fantastic, fantastic awards to win. So this year, guys, the opening the opening lines open on the 6th of September. Wanted to say it tonight, and we'll say it next week, the week after, just to give you all an heads up. Start to get your entries ready. But the opening platform will open up this year. New look platform as well that we've had built will be opening up on the 6th of September. You'll probably start seeing teasers happening from the end of August. But for you barbers out there who wants to be the new Wahl Barber of the Year, what a fantastic award to win. And I get told within the industry it's the one to win. That is a fantastic trophy to win there, and also the coveted Barbershop of the Year. So you'll see the advertisements now as we are speaking. But that is going to be launched on the 6th of September. So get your entries ready. And you can always look at the past qualification, but it's 4 photographs for you barbers. I think it's a 200-word resume to put in there. And obviously the Barbershop of the Year, sending photographs in your barbershop. And you'll read all the rules and regs, but it's just a kind of presentation on your barbershop as well, your marketing plan and how many staff you've got, retail that you do. And hopefully then we'll get 6 finalists for the Barber of the Year and 6 finalists of the Barbershop of the Year. So that's going to be really good. So 6th of September is the date. It's been set. And the final will be literally around about 4 weeks later, which will be at Salon International. So we're all really looking forward to that. And I'm sure all of you as well are all gearing up now, listening to what Professional Beauty said. You know, the registrations are really up. Obviously, not a lot of international visitors this year going. but the pre-UK registration is going to be up. So we hope to see everybody over at Excel for the Salon International. And hopefully, we have a fantastic show. Everybody has a fantastic show and everything's nice and safe as well. It's a bit weird now because I normally say to Gaz, what's your thoughts? Gaz, where are you? But who knows where Gary is? He says, so I think, do you know what? Put in as well, guys. Just message us now and say, where do you think Gary is? I think he's had a cheeky half on his way from work that's changed into 18 cheeky halves. So we're about to sell with the colour of his face when he comes in, whether he's been drinking or not, and he's been having a cheeky one. I think he's got quite a South American feel tonight on the beers as well. We've got some Corona, Desperado, and some Sol tonight. So I think that's the drinks that we're all on tonight as well. So looking forward to seeing what Gaz has done. And just on another note, and I know this is not a Wahl advertisement, but it was launched last Thursday as well, but a decision I took upon with our marketing team as well, which was to make Alan Beek our new creative director here at Wahl UK. Alan is going to be looking after some of our social media content, some of the videos, product launches, as well as sometimes working on stage with me. But from a creative point of view, we thought there's no one better in the UK, probably in Europe and even the globe, of the influence he has on the barbering fraternity. With that we've got some fantastic product launches coming up. We needed some legends there. I'm not giving any words away there for what launches we've got coming up, but we needed some legends there that's going to work on some legendary content. And so we thought Alan was in a great place after working with us for about 3 years anyway, as an influencer, as an ambassador. We felt the step up was right, the time was right. And I know that, the post that Alan put out last week has been really, well received by all of you watching, all of you people that follow Alan on his social media. So thank you for your own nice comments. I'd like to find out the dick that said, is Simon Shaw dead? But I'm sure Alan will let me know his Instagram post. So I'm here, I'm alive, I'm ready. I'm the Global Artistic Director. I'm the McDaddy, ready to go. And Alan's a new part of the structure to the team. And we're really pleased. And, I'm sure his future is going to be fantastic. I know he's buzzing about it. I've never seen him as enthusiastic. He's always very motivational anyway and very enthusiastic. But when we spoke about the title and that, if you can imagine a guy doing a somersault in a really small staff room, that's exactly what I got off Alan. So he's super psyched and super pumped, and we'll be fetching you some super content from Alan coming up in the next few weeks. Coming up tonight at Barbers Arms, we've got some great guests that's going to be joining us as well. We've got Wallace Barlow coming over from the USA. I'm interested to see what Wallace has got to say. I want to talk to him about the barbering at the moment in the US. Now they're full back up to swing, and there's a few things as well. Cases are rising up in the US. So I need to speak to Wallace about that, see how that's affecting the US economy and how barbers are getting back to full swing there. But also as well, I want to talk to him about, I'm going to ask the questions that you guys want me to ask as well is, from an American, how do you rate us against UK against the US? Because we were always in front. And I think that the kind of pendulum's changed a bit. I think they think now that they're in front. So I want to get a real answer from a USA guy that's in the middle of it and see what he's got to say. And then around about 8:45, we've got Nicos Nicasso. Nick's been in the industry for about 15, 20 years. Been a barber in London, worked from his grandfather's shop and then carried on and did other salons. And he's now took the plunge over lockdown to set up a studio at home. I know there's different groups in the UK, Home Salons UK, where there's 2,500 members, where people have really invested heavily into converting the garages, opening up sheds. There's been lots of bars opened up over lockdown, but lots of people have invested as well to making really nice boutique shops, salons, beauty parlors, all from their own premises to balance the life, family balance with what's happening at work. So Nikos is going to be one of our first ever to come on that tells us what the balance is like between having a salon at home, a barber shop, and also his family life as well with his young newborn as well. So we'll see what Nikos has got to say. Also, as well, he's doing micropigmentation, which seems to be a real big thing with hair transplants as well here in the UK. So we're about to get into Nicos tonight and ask him about the training that he got, how long it takes, what's it cost, and what's the benefits and the PL that he makes from his micropigmentation. So that's all coming up as well. Instagram accounts, guys, for all our Insta accounts as well. You can see Simon Shaw, Wahl is my Instagram. Gaz is the British Barber. Barbers_arms is our Instagram here at Barbers Arms. The website is thebarbersarms.co.uk. And if you want to email us, it's barbersarms@thebritishbarber.com. There are all our social media content. So I'm really looking forward tonight once he gets in to actually find out what's been happening as well. What kind of week he's had, what kind of week have you had as well? Has things got any busier? Sometimes I've been speaking to barbers, it's been a little bit quiet in certain areas, then it's been really busy in other areas. Sometimes people say to me that it looked quiet on the books, on their appointments, but then within a couple of days it got really filled up. I think sometimes people are still suffering from this no-show as well. What's all that about? People booking in and not turning up. That's not good. So maybe if you want to put in your comments as well in the comment boxes, if anybody's experiencing that kind of leeway as well with people not showing up for appointments. Sometimes I think that just pisses everybody off. Really does. Unless it's a stylist that's earning enough money for a week, puts a full false names in to have an early finish on a Friday. Everybody's done it in past, but we've got to be very careful. I thought all that them days had passed. I remember years ago, I went my first job in hairdressing at Dimensions, and I would have only been about 17 years old, 16, 17 years old from school. And some of the stylists used to refer to a client called a Williams. And I kept saying, what's this Williams? I don't understand what's a Williams. And one of the senior stylists every Friday night used to put a Mrs. Williams in for a blow dry who never turned up. So it did happen back then, on the older-fashioned handwritten appointment book, a Williams, as we used to call it. So anytime we were a bit suspicious of people putting a false name in for some to have an early finish or to have a bit of an easy break, we used to call it a Williams. I'd be interested to know what your stories are as well. What did you call them? What did your salons call them, or your era call them as well? Before Gaz joins us as well, I'm just trying one of these leffies that we had left. Bit of a pun. Leffies that we had left from a couple of weeks ago. I've got to say, I don't know how to drink this shit all the time. It's really heavy. But obviously as well, if you're drinking that and trying to get on time at 8 o'clock, then you're going to struggle. I think we are about to join our first guest as well. So coming in from America, Gaz should join us as soon as he gets there as well, wherever traffic he's in. But we have got Wallace Barlow from the USA. So is Wallace joining us in the Barber's Arms? Is he pulled into the car park? So we're just waiting for Wallace to join us up as well. I'm going to stick across to the comments as well, see who's watching us as well tonight. I know it's quite early, and I know some people have just been finishing work. Big shout out to Steve Bean. Steve, I know you're watching from your salon. I know you watch us every Friday night. You've got your late nights there on Friday, but I know you're watching us on this show from your shop as well. Do we have Gary as well? Is Gary here with us yet? I'm just looking to see if Gary's anywhere near us yet. It's a bit weird, isn't it? I'm talking to myself on Zoom. Let me just have a read through this production. Let's see where he is. Sorry, guys, I'm having my 10th pint. Fuck you all. I ain't making it tonight. Oh, no, that's not off Gary. Okay. So Gaz has not joined us yet. Oh, he might be joining us now. No, he's not. So I want to take into Gaz's first beer of the night, which is...
Hey, mate!
Hold on a minute. Where the fuck have you been?
Work. Sorry, mate.
Work?
I've got my T-shirt on and everything. Where's your T-shirt?
Well, since I've lost a stone and a half, it's too big for me now. So I'll have to get a small one. I'm off tonight.
I'm sorry, mate. I know it's so unprofessional, but I am so sorry. I can't believe it. What beer are we starting with tonight?
We're going to start with Corona.
So, our Corona beer, because it's Mexican night, I was going to put a hat on and everything, but you know, I did this just for you this week because you were such a fanny with the stout the last time we were on. So it's
Corona.
This is for you, sir. Good health and
Yes.
the very best.
So we'll fetch you up to speed. I've done non-stop talking for 15 minutes. We've told them about the new Wahl competition that's launched on the 6th of September. Hoping that you're going to be judging that at Salon International, mate.
Yeah.
We've got Wallace Barlow coming up very shortly from the USA. Then we're going to come back over to London. We've got Nicos Nicasso coming in from London, who's going to talk us about his new venture, which is opening up his own studio at home.
Yeah.
Would you do that?
Would I what? Sorry.
So lots of people over lockdown decided not to go back to a salon and they invested, you know, between 5, 10, 15, 20, some of them look at 50 grand, converting the garages, converting sheds or building new sheds, building extensions and having an home studio where it's 2-seater. Nikos was one of those and probably one of the first barbers that, I know there's a guy over in Ireland that does it, but Nikos opened his own studio at home where he's now doing his barbering, but he's also doing micropigmentation from there as well. And I think it's the balance between the family life and having a business. But I'm being intrigued to know to see how that's working out for him. My question to you was, would you ever consider doing it?
No. Do you know what? I'm more of a social barber. I am. I couldn't work on my own again. I don't think I could actually do it. I need people around me. I enjoy being with the team. My guys at work, you know, they have a lot put up with, I know, but you know, dipping out of work, traveling and everything else. But you know, I couldn't go back to working on my own, I don't think. And the studio at home, although it feels and sounds a great idea, I need that participation. You know what I mean? I need a buzzing shop, if you like. I know we've gone to different way of working, as in appointment system, but you've still got a full shop all the time. You know what I mean? I wouldn't enjoy working on my own, I don't think, anymore. Would you?
Well, it just depends on space. I think I've been looking at some cribs. A lot of the top athletes in America, Chavez, Alvarez, and there's I think there's a basketball player that's actually built a barbershop within their house. So the barber comes over and cuts their hair in the barbershop. I think that would really appeal to me, where you got a really cool barbershop within your house. And you know, so many times people have got nice big houses and they'll turn something into a bar or a gym that never gets used. But you have your haircut every 3 or 4 weeks, so why would you not turn a small room if you got the money into it? So I'm not talking about practicing it. I'm talking about the rich having a nice room that's turned into a salon, and get your hairdresser or your barber to come there and do it. I think it's a good idea if you've got the money to do that. That is.
Yeah, I mean, good God, if you're a top sportsman or something like that, then I mean that is total indulgence, isn't it? You know, you have a barber shop in your house. So I mean, guys like that probably have a skin fade every week or every 10 days, something like that. But I mean, a chair and a mirror. I don't know. No.
Yeah, have you seen some of them though? Have you seen some of the shops? They're like fucking better than high street shops. They're like, that's not at your home, is it? It's like, really? It's like, it's unbelievable. So it's not. I think that's the perception sometimes as well, is that people think it's a chair and a mirror in a salon, in a garage, or a spare bedroom. But I've been into some of them and I've watched them. I'm like, oh God, you've done really well here. I wouldn't imagine this would be here. It's been like unbelievable. So let's see what Wallace says as well.
You know what though? I mean, all the I think it's gone really popular. You know, Ken Lee's done a fantastic job, and you know what she's actually achieved and what she's done. But at the same time, it doesn't suit everybody. I mean, if it suits you from a personal point of view of, it's like working from home with all these guys who've been working in offices, and then all of a sudden they've got an office from home. It suits some people. It's, you know, if you've got childcare and everything else. But for me, I like the buzz. I like the people, you know, working with me as well. So it depends on all circumstances, doesn't it?
Well, we'll see what he's got to say. We've got a real life home salon guy coming on around about 8:45. You're very red-faced. I'm not going to ask where you've been. I'm not going to ask what you've been doing. I know the traffic's not that fucking bad in Stoke or Bid Up, so I'm going to leave it where it is. Now I'm going to let people come to their own imagination.
It's sunny. We've had a lovely day today, haven't we, as well?
No way. I've had to put the heating on here in Barnsley. It's freezing.
Oh, no. Well, you want to come to Stoke. We pay our bills in Stoke, you know.
Well, here we go then. So joining us from the USA, our first guest tonight on a very disjointed Barber's Arms here on the 20th of August, episode 65. Here we have the one and only Mr. Wallace Barlow joining us from the USA. Hey, Wallace. Is he Wallace? Are you in the house?
Wallace, where are you?
Is in there? I can see he's connected.
Do you know this guy who we're having on tonight? He's lovely fella. Met him about 4 or 5 years ago, working for the BBA in North America. Originally met him working for Van Michael in Atlanta. Very successful salon chain. Dipped the toe into gents grooming, and that's where I originally met him. Lovely fella. Worked for the opposition. He was an Andy's team member at the time. He's there. Wallace, are we here?
Hey, Wallace. Hey, Wallace.
Wallace Barlow.
Cheers.
Wallace, are you there? Can you hear us?
Yeah, Gary. There you are, son. Can you see me?
We can see you and we can hear you, sir. How are you?
What's up? Good. How about yourself, son?
Can you turn your whatever device you're on? Can you turn it sideways or not?
Oh, we can do that one. Yeah.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
We can see more of you now.
Cheers.
And how the devil are you, mate? Are you good?
Oh, doing well. How about you, son?
Very good. I've got Mr. Simon Shaw with us here. I know he's your arch nemesis from a brand point of view, but hopefully we can talk. We can talk Clippers at the same time. What time is it where you are now?
Oh, it's about 1.5 past where I'm at.
Okay. Whereabouts are you? For all our viewers
Utah.
out there.
Utah.
Utah.
Yeah, you were out here for you were out here teaching at Taylor Anders, were you?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Can you hear
Wallace, can we turn you so we can see your jacket? Your jacket looks very. Oh yeah, look at that. That's a proper
That's
UK
custom, son. Yeah.
Dude, we've got to get one of them jackets. Is it a jacket or is it just a bomber?
It's sort of like a dress jacket, like a blazer, per se. But
Okay, yeah, let's go. Look, welcome to Barber's Arms, episode 65. We're going to go through some questions, ask you a few questions about you and your career, and then we'll finish off with some quick fire questions to get our viewers all across the world to get to know you a little bit better. But my first question to you is, and I know we've asked this a few times to US barbers and US hairdressers when they've been on, but my first question is a real nitty-gritty one, and I want you to be really truthful. Years gone by, I think the UK, and still probably do, is that they always hold themselves that we're the very best in hairdressing and barbering across the world. What's your view at the minute in view of USA versus the UK?
so how would I feel about it?
Well, what's your views? Do you think that the USA's moved forward and past the UK, or do you still think the UK is in front of the USA in terms of barbering and hairdressing?
Well, currently, how I feel about barbering is with our company here is that I feel that the UK would be above the USA. You know, I spent a decade working with the Andes. I spent many years working in, you know, education with the industry. And I feel like I was able to cut my teeth with true barbers back in like the early 90s, which it wasn't cool to be a barber back then. It wasn't cool. It was like, oh, you're going to barber school, right? You know, everyone else is going to university, correct? So it's like, why are you going to be a barber? It's like, you can't make any money being a barber. It's like, well, I want to be a barber. It's cool, you know, but it wasn't cool. You know, everyone was being a hairdresser about the early 90s, like doing the Teddy Boys and such like that, you know. So I feel like where we're at right now is when I went over and trained in the Netherlands with Scotland and those guys, it was cool. It was rock and roll. But I feel like when I got a chance to spend some time in the fellowship with the BBA, it's like they were getting back to traditional barbering, legit barbering, like what the craft was about and such. I don't know if that makes sense or if I rambled on too much, but that's where we're at, is traditional barbering, you know.
Yeah, and I think you've hit the nail on the head, really. You've answered it quite honest as well. You know, I think because of social media, Instagram champs, you know, the USA have got some real great ambassadors and influencers out there. You know, one that we work with is A-Rod from Wahl, and you've also got Bird Mina, who's on our creative side, and Neves and Kevin Nugent, top guys. But then when I look at the UK's top barbers, and again, I'm lucky to have most of them signed up to us, is that I do look at this, the word classic sticks to mind, and you just said it's like traditional. It's the classic work, the underpinning foundation that seems to be still a little bit stronger, in my view, over here, that allows you to have the platform to really progress your careers further as you go on. So I'm pretty much like you, but I definitely want one of those jackets.
Oh, this was custom, son. I want my Barber's Arms t-shirt.
Do you know what, Wallace? When I first met you, you sketched this jacket out, and you showed me the sketches.
Yeah.
You showed me the sketches. You had it made, and when I got over there for the first time I met you, and we did the first class, I was blown away by the amount of detail that you put in. You love the English side of things, and you know some of our guys over here anyway. But I was blown away with your attention to detail. But just before we carry on, can you give our viewers, I mean, we've got viewers all over the world, in the UK as well. You're based in Utah at the moment, but can you give us a little bio of you, of your background, of where you've been, who you are, what you've been, and where you are now? Obviously, we know you're in Utah, but the company you've ended up with, can you give us a little 2-minute bio of yourself?
Okay, yeah. So real quick, so spent about 30 years in the industry, you know, right out of high school. Was intrigued by the guy that used to give our haircuts in high school. Me and my mates, you know, we were like, hey, we want this undercut or skater cut, surfer, you know, what have you. It's when we all decided to cut our mullets off in the 80s, you know. So there was a gentleman that we used to go to, and he was just really that guy, you know, and I feel like we kind of have become that guy that all the kids want to go to get that haircut, you know. So he inspired me to be a barber. So here 30 minutes later, you know, talking about 30 years later, I'm thinking back on when I first started to be a barber. It wasn't cool to be a barber. Like back in 1991, you know, I know you took over your father's Rogers Barbering, didn't you? Like, and he spent time in a rock band, did he? Yeah. Yeah. So at the time, was it really cool, or was it really something you were doing? You know, like we're just following in the footsteps. But now I feel like everyone's looking at barbering like it's so cool, you know, and it's just like it really wasn't like that when you and I started barbering, was it? It was just sort of a craft and a job, was it? You know, like not, so yeah, so I started right out of high school. I thought I was going to make a fortune, and I really didn't. You know, so about 6 months to a year in, I was like, oh, I got to go be a hairdresser. You know, so I had the barbering license, and I was just like, I can already cut hair, so I have to go train to be a hairdresser. And then I started doing like color and perms and such like that back in the early 90s. You know, it was still coming off the 80s where ladies were still doing perms and such, you know. So yeah, I'm like, I can do chemicals and I can make more money. So about 10 years into that, I was like, you know, that was fun. I made a lot of money. But then around the early 90s, when American Crew hit the scenes, Dave Recoulier and Kurt Kiefner and those guys, they sort of say, oh, let's get back to men's hair going short again, you know? So it's like, let's get back to that. So it was like, okay, so there's a niche for men's hair again, and I can make a living doing it, you know, as opposed to just standing in the barbershop yelling next for say, you know. So went back to doing hair, moved off to Atlanta, launched American Haircuts, spent about a decade with those guys, opened about 5 stores, you know. It was really good. But if you started charging anything above $25, as Kurt Kiefner says, that's when you alienated yourself away from the gents, you know, because the minute you charge $25 or $35 way above that, then, you know, that's when it goes back to a salon, right? Because you're charging too much. So it's got to be something fancy, you know. Then I came out to Utah a few years ago, and we launched Goat Haircuts, being more of a subscription model. Like the gents pay so much a month where they get a haircut, brow waxing, beard trim, shave. They can pay like different levels. So they got 4 levels. So they can pay the initial $35 a month, or they can go on up to the $105 a month where they get D, all the above. And it was a subscription model. So I sort of ran that course and helped launch about 20 stores with those guys. And then I came back to, I'm like, what am I doing? You know, I'm like, it's so much more than a paycheck being a barber. It's more of a craft. It's more of a ritual. It's more of what we love. It's what we love to do. At the end of the day, you know, you could run off and take a job making more money. And I think some of us have, you know, we've taken on regional manager positions or educational positions with companies like the manufacturers and such. But I wanted to get back to the craft and traditional barbering, like what I believe in and whatnot. And that's when I came to Good Brothers here, which we just opened 2 months ago. It's been brilliant.
Is that where you are now? Are you in the shop now?
Yeah, I'm in the shop now.
Can we have a look? Can we have a look round? Oh, wow.
Yeah, we got Dustin over here, the founder. I think he's got a little surprise when he gets a moment here for the, we've got a cool little unique sign here. So it tells all about our services, and he's got a little message for us at the end of the show here. But yeah, we've done really cool things like created a character here. His name's Billy Casino. This is Billy. And so we pass out poker chips here.
Okay.
And so we give one and we get one. So we give this one to a gent. He takes it away. He brings it back. And then he gets $5 off. And then the guy that gave it to him gets $5 off. So it's sort of like, it's just a consecutive circle. You know, this poker chip with Billy Casino passes its way around and it comes back, you know.
Do you know what? That is a fantastic idea. I might even pinch that off you, Wallace Barlow, I tell you.
Well, you should, son, because the thing is, the poker chip never leaves. It's like, you know, the military, the guys that are generals and such, they lay it down on the bar and they give it back. You know what I mean? It sort of just circulates. So it's contagious. It never leaves because at some point it has to come back.
Where's your station, Wallace, in the shop? Can we look at your station?
My station here, it's a bit messy, son. It's been busy today.
We'd like to look at that. Let's have a look.
Yeah, we've got a bit of a subway tile here. Get a bit of US 7-Eleven coffee there. It's actually rubbish, by the way, Simon. It's rubbish.
I've had a 7-Eleven coffee.
Gary's had a bit of that 7-Eleven coffee, has he?
Oh, definitely. You pinched that word off me. Most Americans don't use the word rubbish, do they?
Yeah. You know where my heritage is, son. You know. And Dustin's grandfathers were barbers, so there's a lot going on here. There's a little bit of heritage on the wall there. You know where he comes from.
Wow.
So Wallace, let's have a look in your drawers. What clippers are you using at the moment?
I've still got, the one that you sort of nudged me to use at a remember Van's event we did. Yeah, we sort of had fun at that one. Me, you, and Eric, did we?
Yeah.
So got the Wahl Senior. It's like,
you see, I take it all over the world for you.
Did Simon just smile at that? Did he?
Yeah, I like it.
I tell him this, Wallace, that I take it all over the world for him, and he just doesn't believe it. And you just take me and whacked it out the park there, because we did some great work in Atlanta, and we missed.
Oh, nice one. Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Yeah. Well, so, you remember when I was with Andes, it was funny because when I went to barber school back in the early 90s, I cut my teeth on a Wahl. It was a Wahl Super Taper. If you know those, the old white label, and it was, it got it done, but it wasn't a detachable. But when I was doing shows with Andes, Jim Wahl himself would roll up to my stage and like, hey, how are you? And it would just blew my mind that I'm sitting here and the guy that is part of Wahl Clippers rolls up to my stage and talks to me, and I'm not even working for him. I'm working for the competitor, but we went over there to Amsterdam with Scorlum and those guys, and they didn't want anything to do with Andes. And I was like, okay. I think so I spent so it is what it is, huh? But Wahl, yeah.
Look, they've been going 90 odd years. We've got 102 years. I think, in the UK, we have the massive share of the market here in the UK, but I think globally it's pretty even. We might just edge it a little bit, but, good luck to them. I hope they do really well. But obviously, working for Wahl for 20 years, and I see the strength of the brand and how big we are in America. The plant itself over in Sterling, Illinois is just breathtaking. And just to
brilliant.
Forget whatever we do and whatever we manufacture and how many countries we're based in, how many clippers we manufacture. Just a little story there of Jim, who's now retired. His son Lance now is the VP of Professional Global. But just to come over to you while you're working for that's Wahl. That is just Wahl all the way through. It's not competition, it's opposition. And if we can be nice to everybody, we are. That's just the way it is. And you've just said it there without any prompting. Prompting on to the next question. Who is your American hero at the moment? Who's the big man in America that you look up to in barbering?
Always and forever. I've got him tattooed on my arm. It's Ivan Zoot. A lot of people sort of be like, I spent time with Andes for about a decade. And, they said, he's burnt out. He's done. He's not this. And then the minute they said that, we were at a show a few months later and it's packed out the room, son. It's just like people are like standing, trying to crowd in the room. Ivan Zoot forever.
Wallace,
he's my hero.
Wallace, just take your camera away. I can see straight up your nose.
How about that? Did you trim those nose hairs last time, Gary?
Yeah. just back the camera off, baby.
Yeah. But no, always and forever, Ivan Zoot.
Do you know what? We've had Ivan Zoot on our show, and we've had him on the expo as well, and he's always a quality guy as well, isn't he?
High energy.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Forever, and he'll always be a good mate and one of my heroes there.
That's fantastic to hear as well. What is in your barbering career, in your hairdressing career, where you are now? What's your most prized possession?
Oh, I guess it'd be my signature barber chairs, the Wallace Barlow barber chair that I did with Minerva Beauty. I'm not sure if you guys were aware, but I was able to have my own barber chair. Minerva Beauty reached out to me and they were like, there's something very unique about you. You're rock and roll, you're traditional, you're this, you're that. But they said, we think you're a guy that could have his own barber chair. And we did it. And I ran a contract for about 5 years where I drew royalties off that chair and my name was on the headrest. So I had my signature embossed on the headrest. So I ran royalties for about 5 years for that. And, it's not so much about, like, I didn't run around bragging and telling people, hey, it's the best barber chair in the world. It was actually a very cheap barber chair. But the fact that someone was willing to do a barber chair with my name on it, and I got royalties off of it, and I was able to run around the world and sometimes cut hair on stage with it. It was brilliant. I guess it just let me know, hey, someone noticed who I was. Yeah, and Gary had some time to cut hair out of one, I believe.
I mean, you're an enigma, if you like, in your own right. You've worked it for a couple of 3 brands. You've got your own barber's chair. You have custom pieces made. I think you're a great ambassador for American barbers anyway. But just quickly, I know you haven't been with the new company very long. You've moved around the country as well. But how's all the upset? How's COVID and everything upset? How's that gone with you in America? How's it actually going at the moment with you guys?
Well, I think we've had the COVID, which was put a hurt in 2020. So me and my family, we suffered from that. Because I know I was watching Kevin Borley, his post there. It's like. So I think any of us and all of us in the service industry have suffered from that. But other than that, I feel like I wake up every day and I'm looking at this new company I'm with, Good Brother Barbers, and we get back to, it's not so much about like how much money we can make, it's about the community. And that was what was cool is I think with COVID, we sort of realized, hey, everyone's affected by this. So we get back to community, and then we think, well, what is barbering about? It's about community. So I think right now, we're 2 months in. As of yesterday, we just launched Good Brother Barbers. We've got 2 more mates starting. We've got one starting Saturday, one starting in September. And we're turning people away. We don't want to turn them away, but we're busy, but we get back to, this is what the barbershop is about, is community, and that's where we're at. We just want to, get back to traditional barbering. Not so much about, let's put designs in people's heads. Let's do the funkiest haircut in the book, let's just get back to taking care of lads, like they come in and get a haircut and, hey, I had a bad day. Okay, well, let me make that better for you. Let me deal with men's mental health awareness. Let me sort you out, son,
Well, it's great to hear that as well. I think that's what barbering was always about. And, I think some people have lost sight of that the last maybe 2 years.
100%. Yeah.
That's what it's all about. A place to go. Even if you're not having your hair cut, you're shopping, you pass, you might go in for 20 minutes just to talk to the guys that's in there. Because you're in there next week for an haircut, but it's just where you go. That's what a barbershop should be. It's where
it gets you sorted out, sort of sorted out.
Makes you feel good. Finishing off, my last question to you is, what is your all-time ambition?
Well, I think growing up, it was something I saw barbering as an outlet, or hairstyling per se, as an outlet to make a good living and make an impact and be a rock star and all that, and Gary knows me. Gary knows, I'm the guy that gets on the stage and shows out and da-da-da-da. I feel like barbering has always been an outlet for me that it's like music. It lets me express who I am. You know, whether I make $1 million, whether I make $30,000 a year or, you know, whatever quid in you guys terminology there, but it lets me be who I am, you know, and that's what's brilliant about barbering is you can wear the glasses you've got on. I can wear my jacket here. I can wear my hat, you know, but we can be who we are and serve the community and do good things and go to bed at night without stressing about, you know, whatever. You know, we may make good living this week. We may be a little tighter this week, but all in the end, you know, we fulfilled our mission, you know, and it was brilliant, you know.
Cool. I'm going to finish off some quick fire questions. Gary, any more questions?
Well, I just, from my point of view, I know I've worked with you across there with different companies, and you've traveled. I think from an American point of view, guys just travel so much. I mean, you're almost a continent in yourself, America, aren't you? You know, North America itself, it's huge, and you guys tend to travel such a lot. Have you missed all the travel at the minute, and are you still doing education at the minute?
Yes, I miss that travel, mostly because the industry has allowed me to see places I would probably never see. But I think for the most part, I think I just missed the connection. You know what I mean? Because I was feeling like I could connect with people in different continents. And even though we got Facebook and FaceTime and all that such, I feel like it's not the same as like actually shaking hands with someone. And you know what I mean? Like when we connected in Atlanta there, me, you, and Eric, and we did that expo there and such, you know, it's a little different when you can kind of walk in the room. You know how it is, mate. You know, you walk through the convention center floor and everybody's like, oh, hey, Wallace, hey, Gary, you know, like, you know, it's a different energy, huh? It's like walking, it's like if we were in a rock band, like your father was, you know, it's like walking into, you know, getting on stage and doing our show, you know. But I think what we're left with is we are a part of an industry. No one else has what we have. We can lay hands on someone. We can say, hey, how was your day? Don't worry about it. Don't go back there. Go forward, because we're going to take you to a better place. And when they leave the chair, son, it's so much amazing. It's so amazing. You know, it's brilliant how they feel, how they look, and you know, and we meet everything we need. If you needed flooring put in your new barber shop, or you needed a new dentist for your teeth, or you needed, you know, something, like, you meet them in your chair, don't you? You know?
Yeah. I think you're dead on. I think it's a great industry to be in, and we're very, very privileged. Just quickly, the last one I want to ask you: are you going to Vegas or Cosmo this year?
As of now, I don't know that I am. I am getting a lot of people reach out to me for more of like an influencer. Like, I think you mates are familiar with the Dark Stag there out of the UK, the scissors and razors and such. So I'm getting a lot of people that want me to do influencing, because they've said, you know, you're really good at posting videos and such with what you do and stuff like that. And I'd love to send you a razor. You know, I tested the J-tie with Dean and those guys, you know. So I'm doing some influencing. You know, Simon, if you guys ever need someone to help you out with the Wahl there, you know, let me know.
Will do, bro. As long as you wear that jacket, that's the main thing.
Oh, 100%, son. This was custom made.
Wallace, we're going to finish off, and you can answer these questions between the American accent and the English accent that keeps dropping in there as well throughout the interview. We're going to ask some quick fire questions for all our viewers. So what's your favorite food?
Food?
Yeah, what's your favorite food?
Oh, I guess Mexican.
What's your favorite drink?
Coffee.
Favorite destination?
Mexico.
There's a theme coming on here, guys. Favorite music?
Rock and roll.
Oh, rock and roll. And who would be your ideal dinner date, past or present? You can fetch somebody back alive for one night, or just present people that you deal with.
One more time there. Sorry for that last question.
Who would be your ideal dinner date? You could fetch somebody back from the dead for one night, or it could be somebody that's in the present right now.
There's also.
I would say from the past.
Yeah, and who would it be?
Oh man.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow. Probably Elvis.
I knew you were going to say that. I wish I'd have just bet $1 million on that. Here we go, Wallace Barlow. It's been a pleasure to have you on Barber's Arms. Wallace is having his favourite food, which is Mexican. He's doing all this with his favourite coffee. Hope it's not a 7-Eleven coffee as well. Hope it's a nice coffee. He's doing all this in his favourite destination, which could be somewhere in Mexico. Cancun always seems to be a nice destination in Mexico. He's listening to his favourite music, which is rock and roll, and he's doing all this with his favourite past, fetching him back alive, the king of rock and roll, Mr. Elvis Presley. Warren, it's been a pleasure to have you on Barber's Arms. Adios, amigo.
I got one more question.
Go.
Do I get a t-shirt?
Yes, you can.
Most definitely, sir. Wallace, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on, sir. It's nice to see you, and hopefully we'll be across into Utah very soon as the restrictions end. Lovely to see you, mate. Have a great night.
All right, cheers, Gary.
See you, Wallace.
Bye-bye. Cheers.
Mr. Wallace Barlow. What a nice fella.
Very nice, yes. It's nice to have people on from the USA as well, Gary. It's always good to have our friends from across the pond on Barber's Arms here on a Friday night. Did you notice, though, while they were talking, I don't know if there were jacket that were passing on influence to him, but he kept fucking dropping an American, UK accent in there. He was like, yeah, man, I'm from Utah. All right, son. Like, oh, where's that come from?
He does it all the time. The first time I met him, I'm like, is he taking the piss or is he just... But he does just keep dropping these. And he's always on, like all Americans do. They've got this heritage, except, you know, this they've always got some link to the UK. So he's Barlow. It's a really English name, isn't it? You know, Barlow.
Deirdre Barlow. I'm ready for my salt.
Right, so we've got our sol, 1899. It's Mexican, obviously. I think these suit you a little bit better, don't they? And I notice it's, you know, they're going down a little bit better than when you tried to dodge the stout. 4.2. We've gone from the 4.5 Corona, so they're all Mexican. We've got a little thing going on here. Good health, sir. All the very best.
Good health. So with 2 of your beers down, the Corona and a Sol. So yes, they're a lot lighter. I will sleep easy tonight. I have been drinking really as well. I've had one drink this week, which was Wednesday because I was out with some of our sales reps. But that's first drink I've had for about 10 days. So yeah, I'm on this big health kick at the minute. So Friday night's a little bit of a treat to you. I say as well, one of my friend, well not a friend, but a new acquaintance of mine has just launched a new book as well. Give Me the Ball. From your era, this Gary. A guy called Terry Curran, he used to play for Chef Wednesday.
If it's that era, the only people I know are Stoke players. I'm sorry.
Well, I don't think he played for Stoke. Chef Wednesday, Notts Forest, Everton, and he just launched his book called Give Me the Ball. It's a really good read. It has really inspired me. I got asked by Bob Woodford years ago, but it weren't the right time. But I'd love to do a book at some point end of my career. But I think when you do a book, you've got to make sure that you're going to not hold anything back. And I think with my book, it would be, I've got to believe in the industry before I write it, because when it comes out, there'll be no fucking room left for me in the industry afterwards. I'd have to just say it as it is. And so I won't be able to come back into the industry afterwards. So it's something I'm going to build up and start writing my diary and my memoirs now, maybe in the next 10 years to launch something like that. But it must be nice when you see your name on a book and it's got, you know, some great stories in there. Coming up then, we have Nicos Nicasso. Nick has had a fantastic career in London, family business. I think he is, I'm going to say this, but I think he's Greek Cypriot, but been in London for generations. And he's been working in London under his family business for over lockdown. Well, he decided to take the big plunge and open up his own studio from his own house as well, where he's also doing as well micropigmentation. So I've got lots of questions to ask the one and only. Featured in last year on my show thing as Barber of the Month. Without further ado, from London, please welcome Nicos Nicasso.
Oh, hey, Si, what do you reckon?
Oh, mate, I love your t-shirt. It's awesome.
It's not as good as this one, Nick.
I know I've got a little bit of competition on that one. I was trying to set the mood and trying to put a few jams on for you. Do you know what I mean?
Nick, I remember the time you got that t-shirt because you came backstage. You were just talking to me. I went, come on, come backstage with us. And you met all the team backstage at Barber Connect. And it's kind of, I think when anybody comes backstage, you see what a big performance it is. But it's just nice sometimes to fetch people backstage and say, have a look at what we do and meet the guys. And
do you know
that's what we're about.
Someone once said to me, what's been the highlight of your barbering career, right? And I swear to God, and I know this is going to sound a bit cheesy, I don't know how far back you remember when I messaged you ages back on Twitter. This was years ago now. And I was like, yeah, I'd love to get involved with Wahl. And every time I come to a show, I always missed you because you were busy. And that one time I saw you, and again, you were busy, but I thought, I don't give a shit. I'm going to wait and I'm going to talk to him. And that was the time that I chatted to, I think, was it in Birmingham, wasn't it? Barber Connect?
Telford,
that's the one. But I still remember everyone else who had a show going on, Wahl had the full-on stage. And when you invited me backstage, you called me, and I'm looking around going, is there anyone else here with the same name as me? And I didn't realize it was me. And I was like, yeah, mate, backstage. And then obviously the little goodie bags. And obviously this is the most important.
The t-shirt as well.
Hey,
well, my girlfriend was the same. She used to stalk me up and down exhibitions and hang around everywhere like that. So, you know, you could have been her. What could have happened?
Well, I wear different disguises per exhibition, so it depends what day I was wearing.
Nicos, that isn't one he's actually worn, is it? Let's just get this right.
He took it off. He was backstage and he took it. It was a bit sweaty, but I didn't mind it because technically I've got Simon's DNA now, so it's all right.
There you go. What could you wish for? And it smells Tom Ford.
You see what?
Well, I'm not. So that was when he was a medium, was it?
Well, Well, he was a little bit on the sort of slightly slimmer side on that show. I can't lie. But,
well, listen, I'm on it now. A stone. I've done, I think, 9 kilograms so far in the last 2 weeks. So it's 1.5 stone I've dropped over in the last 2 weeks. So you can tell anyway. Look at me. I'm looking like George Michael on steroids.
Well, yeah, I didn't want to say too much. I didn't want to give you too much of a high profile that you already have. But you know, you're looking.
Thanks, Nick.
Do you know what, though? He's been ill. So I thought he was looking well.
Sometimes when you're ill, you lose more weight. It's better than a diet, isn't it?
Well, I think, no, the neck aches I've been having not to do with cutting back, but part of the reason why I wanted to get back to a great, you know, physique and looking like I'm ready to be an athlete, albeit Paralympics, but you know, you wanted to get to where you were, well, just obviously not feeling great, so you gotta do it. Nick, we're gonna come on. I know you're a big fan of Barber's Arms, and I know you've religiously watched us throughout lockdown and everything else, so you know what's coming now, mate. We're gonna ask you some questions about yourself, your career, and then we'll finish off. But Gary, you want to start off with him?
Yeah, I mean, Nick, we know you're a top fan, or you know, what does the Barber's Arms mean to you? I mean, we have fans coming on, we have people coming on, we have personalities, we have guests from all over the world. But somebody who watches it on such a regular basis, you know, I know from the early days it was a completely different show, and you've carried on watching it. So, what's it mean to you?
I'll be honest with you. You're gonna laugh, right? So, when the whole lockdown thing happened, it was so, as it was to many of us, it was so foreign to us to have all this time off work. I've never took it, like, I've been barbering now 21 years. And touch wood, I've never taken one sick day off, right? So to me, unless I was out of the country, I was working. So to be told that we're like shutting down for 4 months, or if it was 4 months, it could be 4, 5, 6 months. We wasn't really clear, was it? For the first month, I was an absolute, excuse my language, an arsehole. I was horrible. I was a horrible person. I was moody. I was stressed out financially. I didn't know what was going on. I did this thing kind of thing at the time. I supported all my clients, and I never cut my hair for 2 months, or my beard, right? Now, someone who doesn't exactly have a fantastic hair like Gary on top, it's not a good look when you ain't cut your hair for 2 months.
That's hairspray, by the way.
It is, isn't it? It looks a bit fake
Yeah,
in the front, and I'm an expert on hairlines now, so you can't lie to me, right? But
hairspray and thickening lotion.
yeah, I think it's a bit of fibre as well.
Yeah.
Like,
This is natural. This is natural.
it's that chrome fibre look, isn't it? But,
Okay.
But I think for me, with Barber's Arms, I think the genius part that you guys did was set something up for a community to bring us all back together, because we all lost touch with so many people during that period. I did, you know, even though I was still keeping in touch with clients. It's not the same. You need physical one-to-one chatting. That's what we're used to. So like, you know, okay, we're lucky we've got WhatsApp and so on and so forth. So when you guys created the Barber's Arm platform, I set my alarm, and it's still to this day, at 7:59 comes up Barber's Arm, my alarm, and still to tonight, it flashed Barber's Arms. And this is what, a year and a half later. That was the only time that actually the whole week I was like, finally, it's Friday again, you know? Because every other day was just the same shit.
We were same though. We were same for doing the show.
Yeah.
You know, so look, it's great to hear that. And to be fair, a lot of our views come from after the show.
Yeah.
You know, watching it tonight, 20, 30, maybe live, but then obviously by tonight, midnight, you've probably had about 300-400 watch it tonight, clicking in and out. But then by tomorrow afternoon, you've had 10,000 views. By Sunday evening, you've had 30,000 views. So it's people watching it different times, but you've been one that's watched it live and interacted with all the guys, Steve Bean, Cheryl McCann, Ross Carter, Ross Miller. You know, you've connected it. It became a little community where you all became mates through Barber's Arms.
Right. So many people, we all kind of added each other in the comments box, like, and then before you know it, everyone's sending friend requests and stuff. And it was, in my opinion, I got to ask you, whose actual idea was it? I don't know if anyone's ever asked you that. Was it both of you? You just kind of come together and decided? Because it's such a genius idea, I swear. I don't
think it was either of us, and we were just chosen as the co-hosts. I think it came from Trevor in Australia, and I think
and Jackie Holy as well.
And Jackie as well. But I think they'd had the idea prior to lockdown.
Oh, really?
So the timing of lockdown for this show became, this was always going to happen anyway. This is why we've carried it on afterwards, and it's developed into education. We've done expos. We're going to do more and more of that. But I think the idea was always sat on. It was something that was locked in a safe in somebody's head. So like we got this idea of a chat show. We was very luckily selected as the two hosts to do it. So can't take any credit for the ideas. I obviously have to take a lot of credit how the show's moved forward, but Gaz has just enjoyed it Friday night.
He's done much, has he? Apart from look pretty with his moustache, hasn't he? Really?
He's just done a few beers every Friday. Nick.
Yes.
The first question I want to ask you.
Right.
21 years you've been barbering. You always tell me that your granddad gave you your first clipper, which was a Wahl Taper 2000 with the chrome lid on it.
That's it.
And I know you've used other products. I know you've used other products in between that. And I know you always come back to Wahl, but you've worked in salons in London throughout your career. The last 12 months, though, you've changed your tack. Now, you are working from your home.
Yeah.
You've built an home studio where you're doing your barbering and you're doing your micropigmentation.
That's right.
So my first, two parts of the question is, what made you make that decision and how's it going?
Okay. Is the question in regards to what made me leave my prior workplace?
What made you what made you want to have your studio at home?
So
then how is it going?
Okay, so I'll go back to so it's been quite a few neat years now. I can't say too much. I don't know who's really watching, but I was working on my grandfather's family business for over 18 years. That was the main place that I established myself at. And God rest his soul, he passed away. And to be completely honest with you, the the way things were being run, like it just lost its soul. Do you know what I mean? And I'm a very outgoing person. I'll talk to anyone. I make friends with anyone. And the way the shop was being managed, it just got to a point where I'd wake up and I didn't want to go to work. And that was so not like me, you know? I was always buzzing. Yeah, like if I'm late, I'm stressing. If I was getting a tube or the bus, I'm cursing everyone in front of me because I want to get to work. And then the last few years, I'd press snooze 20 times because I was like, don't even care. I'm not even interested whether I'm going to work or not. And that scared me because I was thinking, is it the shop or is it barbering? Do you know what I mean? I wasn't sure, was it barbering I started disliking or was it genuinely my workplace? So my initial aim was at the end of 2020 was to leave regardless. Then COVID came along and then obviously everything shut down and that gave me, how long was lockdown? I locked 4 months or something, wasn't it? Something like that?
Yeah, first one, yeah.
That gave me so much time to initially really sit back and think, okay, this has never happened in our life before. We've all got so much time to sit and think now, what's my plan? Am I happy there? Do I want to go back? Do I want to set up something myself? And excuse me, there was a time, do you remember when I spoke to you and Ken Lee on the phone? And obviously I had the idea, but I hadn't set up anything by that point. And it was good to talk to you and Ken Lee when we both kind of had a chat. And I think you guys, in a sense, actually encouraged me trying to give it a go because I was really nervous about it. I'm not going to lie to you, like this was completely out of nature for me. And the problem was when I decided to do it, because of COVID and stuff, everything came late. All my deliveries came late, from the barber chair to the desk to this to that, everything turned up late. So setting up took me ages. It was like mid to end of July. But I think, what do they call it? Barbers' Independence Day was like July 4th or something, wasn't it? 4th or 5th, something like that. But by that point, I wasn't even set up. Anyway, there was one day I was just walking around my local area, just getting fresh air. And I thought to myself, do you know what? Where I am, parking's good. I'm right near a tube station. And these are the problems where I was before. There was nowhere to park. I wasn't near a tube station. And clients kept complaining. And we were losing clients. I was losing a lot of clients as well. So I spoke to all my clients before and said, look, guys, here's what I'm thinking of doing. What do you think? And do it appointment basis, so on and so forth. Everybody loved the idea. So I thought, you know what? It's like old Del Boy used to say, you know, he who dares wins. So I gave it a try and touch wood. It's the best thing I ever did, honestly. It was honestly touch wood as well. I'll tell you another thing. When I started the micropigmentation back in 2019, when I was talking to the boss about, you know, on Sundays doing sessions there, he weren't keen about it. And I'm thinking, well, how am I supposed to elevate this new career of mine if like I'm getting bad attitude on it? So when I set it up here, although it's not the biggest studio in the world, when I do the barbering, everything's set up for barbering. When I do the SMP, I rearrange the whole room. And then it just works perfectly. I've done treatments here, everything's worked out here. I clean everything top to bottom. And I know, especially with COVID, we're constantly in masks, constantly gloved up, PPE. It's a bit of a headache, but we've all been there for a long time now, haven't we? I think we've all been down that road with the masks and stuff. But I tell you what, it's for anyone thinking about setting up from home. And I know some people will go, yeah, but you're killing off the high street if everyone works at home. But everyone's circumstances are different. You see what I mean? So you can't just say, okay, everyone stay in a barbershop. If you're not happy in a shop or a salon, you've got to do something about it. And I did something about it. And I'm testimony to this, that it works, you know, but you do have a lot to think about. There's a lot to take into account. And I just got lucky, you know?
Do you know what, Nicos? I mean, Simon asked me the question earlier before we came, as soon as I came back on air, and I think it's exactly what you said, circumstance. But at the same time, you've made it isn't as if you're going from a shop scenario and going into your home. You've set up on your own now. You broke away from the salon, and or the barbershop. And you're your own boss now, aren't you, as well? So that's one point as well, that I think is important to say, because you broke away from the barbershop and you've set up on your own. But is there a downside to any of this? I know you're your own boss now, you're in control of your own destiny. Yeah. But do you miss any of the barbershops barbershop side of things, like the banter, the, you know, the busyness, or because it is very, if you're not careful, it's very insular, isn't it? You can be very.
It can be, yeah, that's correct. I think for me, the shop where I used to work at, there was pros and cons. Okay, the banter, we did get some guys in who really, yeah, it was hilarious. Some days were just comical, you know. Some clients were very vocal, but the problem with that is where they would come out with things that, you know, would only be said in a barbershop, and a lady would come in with 2 or 3 kids, and they've forgot that they've even walked in behind them, and they're saying things that is not suitable. I would then have to say, calm it down a little bit. So, you know, that the banter part was good. Again, the downside was, one of the biggest parts was parking. So I was forever giving out vouchers because, not in a big-headed way, I would say 80% of the clients waited for me. So it got to the point where that 20% was, you know, your odd pensioner floating through who was just going and getting his shopping, and he'd wait for the other guys. So if someone else was waiting for me and there's 7 people waiting in a row, all wanting skin fades and beards, they had to come back another day. But they took that particular day off to come and see me, and then they'd have to reschedule for that. So where now everything is pre-booked, bookings only, I make sure I'm always on time. Everyone knows how their day goes, and I know how my day goes. And it's things like that that is just what is golden. It's just working out blissful, you know?
I think there's a massive mix in the industry. You know, from a brand point of view, no one's exclusive to Wahl. So whether you've got a salon and you've got 25 stylists, you've spent 300 grand on it, and it's smack on. In Knightsbridge, you use Wahl clippers. If you've just opened up your own studio or you've converted your garage to a barbershop, we supply every single person. Everybody's the same to us. I think there's pros and cons to it in the industry. I think there's a stigma about, well, it's not like an high street salon. I think, Gary, you've said it tonight, that you miss the buzz of the team. And I think, though, what you miss sometimes, you gain another side, don't you? Less stress. I spoke to Nicos last week, not about Barber's Arms. It was about a magazine that I'm doing on the column I'm doing on micropigmentation, and he's going to make me look 20 years younger in the next couple of weeks. So you better fucking improve your looks, guys.
I'm going to take
while I was talking to him, yeah, you had your young child with you. I could hear him in the background. I'm thinking, that's the nice thing, is that you probably, the London hours, you didn't see your kids as much. So at home, you do a few clients, and you can see your kids more. The balance is there. And I'm not plugging it, but I know Ken Lee's group, the Home Salons UK, is a great community for people to get together, to learn how to open up, the rules, the regs.
It's a really good page.
And also the advantage and the community together. The stuff you miss on a staff room, that group allows you to like interact with all the other people. So, and I'm not plugging it, just Home Salons UK Limited, that you can actually go online and have a look at that as well. She'll look tonight. I'm getting some bonus points. I'm getting some housey points in here tonight. So.
You're going to get dinner tomorrow. That's no takeaways tonight, son.
But there's not a lot of barbers that's done it. There's a guy in Ireland that's done it, and I forget his name. It'll come to me while we're on, but you're one of the things. So my second question is micropigmentation then. There's so many salons at the minute that I think what they do is they refer people. I don't know if it's happened with you guys across Rogers, but the stigma now about going across to like Turkey and places for hair transplants. There's places in Manchester now you can get an hair transplant done for £2,000. It's the same thing. I think there's a difference between you take the hair out the back, you've got to have your hair shaved off, take the hair out, and then pop it back in, and you do look a bell end for probably six to 8 months. Or there's an expensive one where they take some hair out, they grow the hair for you, and they plant it in so they don't have to shave, and that's about £8,000. But you can have a transplant here in the UK. There's some great clinics about that have dropped the prices, but barbers refer them to their clients to those clinics. But micropigmentation, what Nikos has done, tell us the training, what happened.
Right. So it was really random how, I'm not going to lie, how I fell into it. I'll give you an example. The first time I actually found out about it was, I think Barber UK in 2016. Now, 2 guys approached me, obviously being the fact that I shaved my head. And they started talking about this SMP micropigmentation. But I think I was queuing up for, God knows what I was queuing up for. Some, God knows, silly stall that I was waiting for. And these guys approached me saying, oh, hello, mate. Da, 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 da. And they started giving me this like sales talk on SMP. I never heard of it by this point. But the funny thing is, both of them had hair. I mean, full on like, I mean, they make Gaz look like me. I mean, like they had full on Afro type, brilliant, fantastic, you know, something you'll see in modern barber, I can see. So I'm sitting there thinking, okay, so does your hair grow back? Like, is this what you're showing me? And they was like, no, your hair don't grow. It's a tattoo. What? Tattoo? Are you gonna? Nah. And I was like, look, I don't know if your sales ain't very good or you just, you know, but you're not showing me anything. You know what I'm saying? So a few years ago, I was on Instagram and somehow, some way, it just popped up. A company popped up. And it's really weird because I've never searched for it before. I didn't really know until that day it existed. Long story short, checked out their profile. I was like, okay, yeah, these guys look good. Anyway, it just so happens that these guys were doing training on top of that. And I thought, okay, maybe I'll get mine done. And while I'm there, I'll get some training done. Long story short, that's how I kind of fell into the whole SMP side of things. But what I can say is this. I know a lot of people who have had transplants and the majority of them have failed after probably 2 to 3 years. What people don't understand is there's two types of hair transplant. You've got the FUTs and the FUEs. Now the FUE is more of a modern one where the scarring's more scattered. The FUT has got the Joker smile, you know, at the back of the head, big ass scar. It looks disgusting. And even people who have SMP done to cover that, it looks good for about a year and then eventually it fades. You have to keep getting it done. Problem is, it's like trying to resurrect the dead. Once you're dead, right? But when they're trying to take hair from different places and put it back, whatever's going on inside your immune system to cause that hair to fall out, and it's called DHT, it's dihydrotestosterone, which causes hair loss, which kills the follicle. Now, if it's happened once, it's going to happen again. Do you know what I mean? And people spend thousands and thousands for it. This is why now people are opting for treatments like SMP because it's instant. The first session, you notice straight away a result. I don't know how, I mean, I've got like all that there, that you can see on top of mine, that's not hair. All that there is literally specialized ink pigment. I don't know how great you can actually see that.
See it. I'm desperate for it.
Mate, listen, I recently did a treatment and the guy is forever sending me pictures. He's super, super happy with it. He's like mid-40s and he's literally, it's like he's jumped back to his early 30s. It just looks incredible.
I know how it feels.
Yeah. What, you're still in your 30s, you mean? Or?
Yes, yeah. No, I know with what the timing of it, with the weight loss and that, fucking Gaz, no stopping me. Woohoo! I'll be walking to Stalin International looking like a 20-year-old.
Excuse me, can I just say, are you drinking anything tonight anyway, Nikos?
Yeah, so, okay, I've got a client that he flew over from Lithuania recently and he's Lithuanian himself. And bless him, he always brings me these beers and they are so nice. So I don't know how good you can see it. It's called...
Oh, yeah, we can see it, yeah.
This one.
Nice.
It's a European one. I don't know. It's extra. So I don't know. It's great, though. It's just so bloody tasty. And I'm not a beer person, but this is so bloody good. What are you guys drinking?
Well, we're going to have our third beer tonight now.
My favourite, my go-to drink.
Which is a particular favourite for my mate here who's, you know, when it comes to drinking, a bit of a fanny. But it is 5.9. His favourite drink is 5.9%. Desperado.
Oh, this is 5.2.
That'll do, but you know the Desperados for me, Gary, it's like an old-fashioned lager and lime. I used to love it as a kid, lager and lime or lager and black currant, but that one's got a kick of a mule. I remember the first time I ever give it to my son-in-law, right? We had a family party. It was my son's 21st, and it's the first time we got a case of Desperado from Costco. And I saw him walk from the kitchen. As he walked, he used the wall to bounce off to get through the door. It's like he bounced and then went through, because if the wall wouldn't have been there, it'd have gone in about 4. And I said, yeah, that's the first time that you have Desperados. That's the effect it has on it. We have cans over here in Barnsley, 500ml cans of Desperado. It's proper hardcore in South Yorkshire. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's in South Yorkshire. They can't get anything else. You see, that's the problem. He's on.
It's kind of magic, Nikos.
Huh? What's that?
Kind of magic.
Well, I mean, it's a Barnsley thing, isn't it?
It's a Barnes thing, mate. So we've got up and coming. We're doing a little feature for my show thing in October, I think, November issue.
Yeah.
We're going to come over to your studio and we're going to film you doing a little bit of micropigmentation on myself. Awesome. And take it step by step to show people how it's done. Yeah. And then the transformation from being a 50-year-old to a 30-year-old overnight. It's going to be like one of them, like, you know, like changing rooms, guys, or what it used to be called years ago. I worked on it on TV, style challenge, where I'm going to come in and go looking in as a 50-year-old, come out with my beard dyed, a full head of hairline, and we're going to go for it.
You want to see what we're going to be using? So this is basically, I've got to give a shout out to my guy. So I'm one of like the ambassadors for this. It's an Italian ink pigment. So do you mind if I give a little shout out?
No, of course, do it.
It's called Pigmenta Black Ray. This stuff here, right? So I'll give you a quick buzz on it. So when you talk to someone who's an SMP, artist, technician, whatever you want to call yourself, okay, they label it as a cosmetic tattoo. It's like I said earlier with the whole tattoo thing. Me personally, it's nothing to do with tattooing. The equipment we use is different, ink pigments we use are different, and the methodology is completely different. This one, in comparison to tattoo ink becomes very kind of like a bluish. I'm sure you've got tattoos, so you know after a while it gets a bit of a blue tinge to it. Whereas this type of stuff stays matte. Hey, Cool, have you had some more done? Sure, you never had that many.
Yeah, all the time.
Cool, look, you look like a doorman.
There, guns there.
Oh, look at that.
Come on, carry on. We were talking pigment. Go on, carry on.
Yeah. Sorry, I fell off my stool then. No, I didn't. And
going to pub after work and being late. Go on, carry on, Nikos.
Yeah. So yeah, going to the whole pigmentation thing. A lot of people say, "Oh, do you use tattoo ink?" And the reason why we don't is because certain things like this is more organic, and these type of the things that the color doesn't change. And if you use, I don't know if you've ever looked on Google, or for those who haven't, look on Google and type in head tattoos, and you will see some disgraceful work from. But these people are going for hair loss solutions to a tattoo artist. Now, a tattoo artist is just going to shade it in like you would, like with your tattoos on your arms. Yeah. Right? And that's when you get that blue tinge and it looks absolutely shit. So with your situation, when we do yours, this is the type of thing. So that's why I wanted to introduce it to you, because this is the kind of little black magic that I'm going to be using on you. This is the little wireless gun, like wireless.
Wow. And how long did your training take?
Well, here's the funny thing, okay? So training, most courses are around 5 days. Now, I know that sounds absolutely absurd, 5 days, right? Even I was like, 5 days, is that it? Okay. But the thing is, you learn the fundamentals in 5 days, but the practice that you have to put in is months and months and years and years. And the problem is, people think, oh, you're just putting in dots on a head. If that was the only, and the problem is, where people think that, that's why there's so many, excuse my language, shit technicians out there. Because they just sit there, yeah, it's easy, and then they do it. Problem is, once it's damaged, the next step is laser treatment. There's no other way of correcting it. And that's
do you know what, though? We see a lot of cowboys out there in different areas of our industry.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the regulations hopefully are there as well. But it's also from, we do a lot of hair replacements. We do a lot of kind of stuff like that within our barbershops as well. But it always amazes me on the very bad ones or the very poor ones, the actual outline of the hairline. I mean, we always go on, especially in hair replacement, we always go on four fingers to your hairline.
That's what we do. That's what we do, yeah.
But sometimes you see some states where it's, you know, it's way up here, it's round, it's so the training I get that, you know, it's 5 days or whatever. Is this part of the industry regulated? Are we, you know, is it out there or not?
Okay, so the thing is with SMP, unlike barbering, which has been going on for decade upon decade or centuries, if not, SMP's only been around for maximum, I would say, 11 to 12 years. So it's very kind of new to a lot of people. Again, I only found out about it probably 4 to 5 years ago now. And that was only because those guys approached me. Otherwise, I only would have found out about it probably 2 years ago. So people are still trying to get their head around this whole tattooing on your head thing. it's definitely regulated. Even the qualifications I have are OCN level 4. It's the highest qualification you can have. The thing is, I haven't just done one course. I've done like 3 courses. So I'm constantly trying to evolve, understand techniques, practice, and just understand skin. That's the hardest part, when people don't understand skin. And it's not just like haircutting. You fuck a haircut up, excuse my language, your hair's going to grow back regardless. Like I said, with this, if you cock it up, it's game over. It's game over. So you really need to trust a good technician and get brilliant training. And I make sure my training is done by some of the best in the world. So
I'm looking forward to it. And I think
please don't cock Simon's up, because I will never, ever able to look him in the face ever again.
Do you know what? Because he knows me, we'll be nice and relaxed. But sometimes if I've gone into barbershops in the UK, I try to not disguise myself, but you go in sometimes. I can remember once going in, I'm not mentioning the name, but top salon in London, and gone in, I was in an hotel, I just went in with my baseball cap on, just casuals and that. It's like, just want my beard lining in, just like an head shave, it's like, get some, the guy's doing it, like, you look really familiar to the guy from Wahl. I'm like, all right, okay. I thought, you can't then lie. I said, are you, and yeah. And then he started like over processing what he were doing.
Right.
And I'm like, I just want you to just do it. So, some of the guys I use, I use Azef, one of my little, an Iranian barber that's very close to me in Barnsley. We talk about clippers all the time. He's telling me how we can improve our products. But there's like, you sit down with him, he's not bothered who I am or what I do, or he just does it, and he does a great job when he's doing my beard, and that's what I want. And I think, this is a complex job, this micropigmentation, and you hit the nail on there. It's like a tattoo. You cannot make a mistake, because you're going to be in a magazine. It's me that's doing it. I mean, it's fucking make a break really for you, this, Nicos. It's one of them. No pressure. No pressure. But yeah.
Can I wear my Wahl top at least? At least I'll get some.
Of course, bro. We'll be nice and chilled, but that's going to happen in the next couple of weeks. Nicos, it's been great to speak to you tonight, mate. We're running out of time. I've got producers shouting off from here as well, saying that we're ready to go. But great to have you on, mate. It's always great to speak to you. I'll tell you what, mate, and I'm going to give a compliment to you. Every time I speak to you, you're always upbeat. You've always got a positive angle on it, and I really like that around people. And good luck with your home salon and your own studio that you've got. So good luck with that, mate. And I'll see you in the next couple of weeks, and we'll put you on the map in the magazine to say what you're doing and how you're doing it there, and be great. Do you know what, Gaz, as well? I'll just finish off with this. I did Nicos as my Barber of the Month as a column in Modern Barber, and it was the only magazine out of lockdown that didn't get to print. It was the only one that was virtual. Everyone since that, they printed them, sent them out everywhere. It's the only one that didn't. But since you told me that the other day, I have spoken to Modern Barber, and it looks like I'm going to be able to get you a printed copy of the magazine. So fingers crossed. I spoke to the powers that be, Jane Lewisaw and Mark Maloney, and hopefully we can get you a printed copy of that issue. So
I'm going to pin that up. Fuck all these certificates. I'm going to rip them all down. There's no room anyway, so I'm just going to shove that on the open page and get that put up there.
There you go. But great to have you on Barber's Arms, mate, and I'll be in touch, and I'll see you next couple of weeks.
Wicked. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, guys, for having me on. Peace out, and I'll speak to you all soon.
Nicos, you've been great, mate, and thank you for following us so long. It is noted that you're there every week, mate. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. God bless. Peace.
Have a nice day, brother.
You too, mate. Take care. Bye-bye.
Great guest, guys, both tonight. Wallace were different. We didn't really speak about it, but he kept talking in a Yank accent, then dropping odd English verb in there as well. All right, Sam. Nicos, great energy there coming from London, great guy, great barber. Gone off on different things, the micropigmentation, it's not for everybody. Even the most articulated barbers would struggle with that. But I watched him when he told me he was doing it, and then when I saw him doing it, he was one of them barbers that when you watch his stuff, all his stuff were very neatly put out. When you saw him do a fade, everything were in sections, everything were immaculate, so you just knew that he's going to be very articulate. You could just know he's got OCD, everything's going to be lined up. So if he's going to, you know, go into micropigmentation, I would think that's certainly, you know, right up his street.
Yeah. Do you know what though? The thing is that I noticed about him as well. His place looked great, even though it's a small space. It looked great, and we should have asked him to do a little pan around as well. I know probably isn't the biggest of places, but it looked good, didn't it, as well?
Very, like just said, very organised and very particular.
I know you speak about him very highly anyway, but these are the type of people that we want on. So all you guys out there that watch us on a regular basis, please make yourself available and let us come into your little world, and we can see and have a look around as well and interview on as a local hero. So please have a word. You can contact us on direct message or get into the guys who are production.
Email us at barbersarms at thebritishbarber.com or visit on his webpage, which is thebarbersarms.co.uk. Finishing off, don't forget, Gaz, you missed this at the beginning, but it's coming up on your screens now. It's back. It's ready. Do you want to be the next Wahl Barber of the Year and the Wahl British Barbershop of the Year? The entries open on the 6th of September. We will be having the finals back at Salon International. Who's going to win the current Barbershop of the Year? It's Andy's Barbershop. He's allowed to enter again this year, so Andy could win it again. You've got Ruffians, RW Wolves, you've got Jack the Clippers, you've got Hard Grind, I've just mentioned a few, Big Beering, Grey. You had Avanzantos all in last year, so that's going to be a biggie this year. See who enters, see who gets through. And the Barber of the Year, wow, over 150 entries last year. So again, that's going to be a biggie. So if you're listening tonight, if you're listening tomorrow, wherever in the week, start telling your team, get your entries ready. 6th of September is the date that the Wahl Barber Shop and the Barber of the Year opens. Gary, before I pass over to you, I'm just going to say to everybody, I hope you have a fantastic weekend. I'm not sure about the weather, what that's going to be like. But next week coming up, we have my namesake coming on. There is only one Simon Shaw, but apparently there's two. This guy has lived off my name for years. Simon Shaw from the Fellowship and used to work for Harrington's, does the presentation courses as well. I've met Simon quite a few times. He's a charming guy. And Simon's going to be on next week. He'll tell us some stories of, I think he went on a blind date once and she thought it was me. This is a true story, this. He went on a blind date and he met this girl. She went, oh, I thought you got shaved there. So we'll speak about that next week. So we've got Simon Shaw coming on next week from the Fellowship with another local hero that will be joining us on Barber's Arms. Episode 65, over 9 million views. Thank you for everybody who's watched tonight. I know it was a little bit disjointed. Gaz got caught up in a bit of traffic. Late from work, busy bee, earning the coin before he goes off to Spain. And we'll see you all next week with Mr. Shaw, and Mr. Machin in Barber's Arms, episode 66. So have a great weekend. Stay safe. And I'll hand you over to the Matchmeister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Simon Shaw. Can I just take this one moment first? A very good friend of ours, Eric Lander, was 50 on Wednesday, I think it was. Didn't get to speak to him on that day because he was away. I think he's in Edinburgh at the moment. So Eric Lander, I know you watch this or you listen to this on, I think it's a Saturday or Sunday or something, but many happy returns, mate. I hope you have a fantastic birthday. 50. Can't believe it. You're catching us up, mate. You're catching us up. Couple of other things. Alan Sheldon, who's watched us tonight, and Mr. Simon Heath, thanks for watching. I'll give you a bit of a shout out there. Sorry I was late tonight, everybody. It wasn't intended. It was work, and all I can say is I'm sorry. Mr. Simon Shaw, producer, thank you for everybody for watching. We love you. We'll see you next week.
See you all next week. Adios, amigos.
Yeah.